he has set up a new website called Market Direct. So I want him to tell you all about it. So Keith, you're welcome to West Limerick 102.
Thank you very much, Marion. And firstly, I'd like to say it was a pleasure meeting you there last Friday out in Abbeyfield.
It was a fair cold day.
It was a cold day, but it didn't dampen the spirits that ye have out there, and I think it's great work, especially, when you're reinvesting it into that, the garden, the community garden that you have as well. I thought it was brilliant. It was inspiring,
Mm-hmm. We're very proud of our community garden, I have to admit, and it's we have had Tooth workers now for this is our second year that we have people working with us from Tooth, and Margaret McKenna is there from Abbeyfield, and she has just transformed the place, so it's looking very well. And at the minute she's digging compost into beds and covering them for the winter and getting, preparing for the winter. So it's actually in great shape at the minute, and as I say, we're very proud of it. But anyway, Keith, going back to you, and your Market Direct, tell us about your interest in farmers markets and what you're intending to do with your website.
Well, basically, marketdirect.ie, right? It's an e-commerce platform to enable small businesses in Ireland to sell their goods online, and also then on the consumer side of things, I want to create a kind of a farmer's market type experience online for them. So I suppose the research that I've done, has been in farmers markets in Limerick, in Dublin, and including West Limerick and also actually North Kerry as well. And what I came back with was most of the small producers, manufacturers, and retailers that I met. They said that, it's our next step. We don't have the time, don't have the expertise, don't have the finance.
Mm-hmm.
So what marketdirect.ie will do, it'll solve these issues and open up, what is a huge market to these businesses, and hopefully help them to become sustainable businesses and create additional employment.
But you're not just talking about people who go to farmers markets, though, with small businesses, say, in West Limerick. You're talking about people who are trying to sell. Like I was listening to, your lady, she was in Father Ted, Mrs. Somebody. She's,
Doyle,
Mrs. Doyle. She's knitting tea cozies.
Tea cozies, and that's exactly, I think...
And selling them.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh-huh.
There's, it's a made think of, vegetables and such, and that is a big part of it. But there's also, it's amazing the amount of small businesses that start in farmers markets, and of course they do, because it's the easiest way for them to get to, a route to market that is very cheap, and they get instant customer feedback as well. I mean, in terms of what I want to do is I want to make the internet as accessible to them as the farmers' markets are, because the size of the market, I mean, Marion, at the moment 3% of the Irish GDP comes from the online economy, which is about 4.5 billion, to our economy.
You mean people buying online, going on with their credit card, Irish people buying stuff online?
Irish people buying
Irish stuff
online is worth 4.5 billion. But in the UK, this is 8%, which would be the equivalent of 12 billion in the Irish economy. And the reason why people aren't buying Irish stuff online, as much as they are in the UK, I think it's because they don't have access to it, I think it's very hard. I mean, I know myself from experience, when I'm looking to buy something online, the vast majority of the time it's coming from the UK, or it's coming from America, or it's coming from somewhere in Europe, because they've targeted the Irish, basically the Irish consumer, and there's not enough of the Irish produce being online. And I suppose, as I said, the barriers to that are the level of expertise and the level of cost that it costs to set up an e-commerce website, and not only to set it up, but to promote it and to maintain it and to make sure that it appears high up on, on the search engines and stuff. And that's exactly what I want to do for small businesses in West Limerick and in the whole county and also throughout the country,
You're from Limerick yourself, Keith?
I'm from Limerick myself. I grew up in West Limerick. Currently I'm living in Limerick City, but the business itself, Market Direct, its business address is in West Limerick, and I suppose I'm going back to my roots. In terms
and you are an accountant by trade, so this is a big change, isn't it?
It is, I am a chartered accountant, and I'm actually chairman of the Midwest Society of Chartered Accountants as well. But I suppose for me, I'm loving this because I'm passionate about helping small businesses in Ireland to reach their potential and to create sustainable employment. As I said, my own background is I worked in corporate finance for a number of years, helping companies access finance to expand, and I headed up the Pinnacle BES fund, which was again trying to help small companies, growing companies to expand. But in the current times, that all kind of dried up, and my role changed into more corporate rescue and insolvency type work, which didn't really rock my boat, Marion. I'm as I said, I'm passionate about helping companies to grow, and while the insolvency side is a very important function of accountants, it wasn't for me. So I believe that any company can succeed with the right supports, and I'm hoping that MarketDirect.ie will become a very significant and important resource and support for small businesses. And it's not only companies, this is for owner operators, even like craft people and such. There'll also be, I will be focusing on the diaspora in the UK and in the US, so trying to open up exports to these small companies as well, because that's a huge market out there, And we've all, I even, remember myself when I spent time in the US, and I spent a number of years in Australia, and, buying Irish products, if I could buy them when I was there, or if I came across them, there was a huge novelty factor. And even, when people sent me out Irish products and produce in the post, it was brilliant. It was also with the website, like in a market, when you go to a market, one of the key things in a farmer's market is you get to talk to the stall holder, like yourself, have a cup of tea or whatever, and and a chat, so you get to know them. And that's what I want to happen on the website as well, if the consumer wants it. Obviously, there will be the ability to buy things quickly if you want to, but you're not going to be buying from jim22@yahoo.com. The stall holders will have a stall on Market Direct. They will be able to upload a YouTube video of them either manufacturing their goods, or whether it's producing the great produce that you get at markets, or if it's them selling to people at the the market stall that they have, the physical one.
Well, Keith, while you were talking there, I was thinking about something I tried to buy online the other day. That I saw it in the Farmers Journal. It's called welly warmers, and they're supposed to be these inserts that you would wear like over socks in your Wellingtons that would keep you. And wearing Wellingtons at any time of the year, Wellingtons are fierce cold, and anyone with cold feet, which I have. So anyway, I went online, and it's West Cork, I think, is where the Bill Hooley Creamery or something. I'm not too sure now. But anyway, I wasn't able to get beyond. I wasn't able to pay for the goods. I could only go so far, and it wasn't letting me pay. So anyway, I sent an email, and I just said that I wanted to purchase this, but that I couldn't get through, and what could they help me? Well, they were back to me within the hour, and it was Saturday. I sent it. Sorry, not within the hour. I sent it late Friday night. Saturday morning, first thing, got an email back explaining where they were based, where there was another group of them that they're involved with in Castle Island. I think it's Rhino in Castle Island. But anyway, they gave me all the information, and I was just so impressed by that, you know.
And that's very important, you know.
Yeah.
It's all about the experience of the site, and as I said, I want this to be as interactive as possible in terms of that, you know, that people's needs are met as soon as possible. And you know, I myself and my team will manage that to a degree, and also the individual stall holders. You know, if there are any comments to them, they will be, you know, sent to them by email and text message, so that they will be able to respond as quickly as possible as well.
That does mean a lot. As I say, I see it myself.
Especially because these producers, you know, they're not sitting in front of a computer all day. So it's important that there are other forms of notification to them, like the text message, so that they know then, oh, there's an email, I better go and check it. Because it might, you know, they might only check their emails every few days. When they get a chance, because if you know yourself, it's you know, it can be very busy.
Yeah.
You know, life when first of all you have to make the goods, and then you have to get out to markets as well. So again, it's down to, you know, time is so important for these people.
Can I just ask you something else now? And I'm thinking about a product that's made here in it's actually in Ati. There's I don't know where it's made in Ati, but there's a product I've been buying, Ati sausages. Right, and they're a beef, or not a beef, a pork sausage, but they've got a lot more pork than the normal sausage.
Oh, yeah.
And they're absolutely gorgeous. And everybody that around here, you know, thinks they're wonderful. But for the likes of them, if they signed up with you, how would they manage then with we'll say, getting their product to somewhere like New York, to a butcher shop in New York? Can that be done?
Well, what would happen is, right, in terms of the distribution is down to the actual businesses themselves, all right? But what we will do is we will provide them with advice as to what we think the best means of distribution are, and also what are the likely barriers to, you know, to it, and it'll depend very much on an individual case-by-case basis.
Okay.
But there are, you know, I mean, all you have to do is look. I don't know if you saw the Mad About Fish program on Martin's Mad About Fish on RTE last night, you know, and you see the fish being exported down to Spain, you know, and you even look at the figures that came out there recently about how our exports have, you know, they're the highest they've ever been. And Irish food is being exported all over the world, so it is possible. And what I want to do is try and make it as easy as possible for, you know, for the producers. I mean, I have quite a number of businesses that have already signed up their interest in the food sector. You know, varying from organic food, meat and poultry. There's a few cheese producers as well, and then there's quite a number of, you know, the more niche artisan producers as well, and then also, you know, I've quite a lot actually of you know, wonderful crafts people signed up, and then on the fashion side of things, you know, it's unbelievable the amount of, you know, exciting clothes and accessories producers, you know, manufacturers out there when you go out to these markets. You know, both from, you know, great woolen produce and you know, and other ones as well. It's brilliant and it's very exciting. You know, I mean, every time. I mean, the weekend there, you know, I was in with you guys, and then I was in North Kerry as well. You know, and I was down in Listowel on Sunday at the Food and Crafts Fair there, and the positivity, you know, to see, you know, there was a number of West Limerick producers and stallholders down there as well on Sunday, and you know, it's just great. I love seeing the different products and the different produce that they have. You know,
Keith, I'm sorry to stop you for 1 second, but I do need to go to an ad break, and we'll come straight back then and continue this conversation.
Very good, thank you.
the next question, Keith, is what's it going to cost?
Well, look, as I said, I'm passionate about the small business in Ireland, and our focus is on providing a cost-effective, efficient, and user-friendly route to market for Irish businesses. At the moment, we're looking for businesses to contact us if they've any interest in selling their goods online, and then we'll sit down and go through their exact requirements with them. I mean, having said that, it will be, the cost is a fraction of the cost of setting up and maintaining their own e-commerce, website. And if they are interested, as I said, I'll devote time to speaking with them to come to an agreement in relation to the costs. And they can contact us via our website, or we're on Twitter and on Facebook as well.
Okay. And when is the website due to launch?
The website will launch early in the new year. Currently I'm getting feedback from stall holders in relation to the website, just to make sure that it meets their requirements, and also with consumers to make sure that it is as user-friendly from that point of view as well. As I said, we already have had significant interest from many small to medium-sized producers and manufacturers in West Limerick, North Kerry, and actually throughout the country. People want to get online and to use Market Direct because, as I said, the cost is, it's a lot cheaper than
if you're trying to do it yourself.
Exactly, and especially in terms of time, because that's so important, and ease of use. You don't have to be an expert. There's a user manual that will be distributed to each of the people, and I'll take them through setting up their page day one, and obviously we'll have a 24/7 helpline to help them as well if they have any issues, because it's all about the service that we're providing, and also the additional services that that we will provide over and above the standard.
Okay. And Keith, I suppose the last question is, have you any advice for people starting kind of artisan businesses in West Limerick? Because we are talking here people who are trying to set up a business maybe, and it's just themselves, and if they ever move to employing somebody, they'll think they're on the pig's back. A lot of craftspeople are only just trying to make a living themselves. So have you any advice for people like that?
I think, Marion, it's the same for all businesses, all right? I think all businesses start off small unless they're, they're, I suppose, extremely unique, which is very rare. I think in terms of advice I would have for small businesses and for startups is, to access and use all the advice and support that you can. Whether it's West Limerick Resources or the Limerick County Enterprise Board or the Paul Partnership or, the Limerick Chamber or, local colleges and universities. And, for example, I'm on the LEAP program, which is the Limerick Enterprise Acceleration Program, which is run by LIT and Limerick Chamber. And, through that I get access to mentorship and office space, which has been a great help to me. Also, what I would say is, for me, what's very important is surrounding myself with, positive people like yourself, Marion. I really have to limit my exposure to negativity, because if I was to listen to the news 24/7, I wouldn't step outside
never
the
do
door.
anything,
Yeah, exactly. It's very important to stay positive and don't take knockbacks personally, because there will always be roadblocks. There will always be no's, and
sorry, Keith, when you were talking there about using the support, one of the things I thought about was, as you said, was market research. And do the universities? There's a lot of people students who would possibly do market research for you as part of their course. Would that be right?
There are, and there are a lot of supports out there. There's actually a program. They're called innovation vouchers, and if anybody Googles, you can search for innovation vouchers, and what that is it's a voucher that you can get. I think it's up to $5,000 in terms of research and such for your business. So things like that are very useful, and it's just a matter of really, I suppose, the talking to to these bodies to find out what is or isn't available for a business like yourself, because there are certain businesses that will be applicable for Enterprise Ireland, and then there are others that aren't. It's not easy because there is such a wealth of information available on the internet. But I would advise to talk to a trusted advisor, but also to do the research yourself online as to what is available in your area.
And networking, of course, is very important.
Network is extremely important. And I mean, I'm part of a network group, Strandnet, that we meet every Tuesday. And for quite a while, the guys in there were saying, like, what use are we to you? And I said to them, well, what I get out of coming here is the positivity. I see that you guys can have your own business, so then why the hell can't I? And that's all. It's different now when the website is nearly ready to go, and I'm looking for businesses to sign up. Now I can use their networks, but for a while it was just about me being there and learning from what they've done and taking from their positivity. And it's I have to say I'm really enjoying what I'm doing now, getting out there in the coalface and meeting the small business owners, and seeing their positivity and feeding off that, because these guys, what I have seen is, they love what they're doing, and that's.
But in this climate, there is so much negativity around. Are people, in one sense, is it madness to try and set up a business in this climate when people are afraid to spend money because they don't know what's coming down the line in the line of taxes and water charges and all the rest of it? It's harder this time, is it? Or is there some saying somewhere about setting up in a recession is the way to go?
Yes, I think if you look now, right, there's never been as many supports in terms of for setting up your business. For example, like in West Limerick, you have West Limerick Resources through the Rural Development Plan. They have a significant amount of money to invest in businesses in West Limerick. And as you said yourself there, yes, if the number of businesses that if you've set up in a time of recession, there's a far greater chance of you succeeding in terms of later on. There's also, I suppose, in terms of costs have reduced. So rents have come down. The costs of employing people have come down. There's a lot of people available in terms of there isn't a shortage of talent out there, and it's a lot easier to access that. And I think in terms of help, in terms of mentors, and other business people, everybody is trying to nearly pull together, to get us through this. And people are very accessible to giving advice for nothing, I think it's very important to do that, to not to be afraid to ask for help, because what's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is they say no, or they say I'll have to charge you for that. But if you don't ask, you won't find out.
Keith, I'm out of time. I'm sorry, and it was very interesting talking to you. And I have to wish you the very best of luck with this. And delighted to hear about something positive happening, and especially with you said you were from West Limerick. Where are you from originally?
Well, I lived in Adair for
oh, so you're definitely our side of the country. And I said McGuigan, was that the correct pronunciation?
Yes, McGuigan is.
Yeah, it's a northern name, isn't it?
My grandfather, Pat McGuigan, he's quite well known actually around Limerick, but he's originally from Omagh.
Oh, right. Okay. Listen, it was great talking to you anyway, and we'll keep an eye on progress and how it goes, and we'll talk to you again, please God.
Thank you very much, Marion, and I'm delighted to talk to you. And I'd love to, to update you in the new year as to how things are going.
Yeah.
And,
well, I look forward to hearing from you. Yeah. We'll keep in touch. Thanks,
Keith. Marion.
Okay. So that's a man that's going places rapidly. I had something.